Well, what I have for you is such a wild interview with Republican Congressman George Santos, who is well known now for his serial lying tendencies. And this interview is truly bonkers. The way he tries to explain away the lies he's told and just frame this all in a very strange way. So with that being said, so many clips to go through from it. Let's dive into the first.
For having me, Caitlin. I think it's important that America
And this is on One America News.
understands, that a lot can be said, a lot can be done, but that people should be judged on their actions and not by trial by fire through the media, which is what I've experienced for the last couple of weeks. As you noted in your opening, you said that politicians have broken the fabric of trust with the American people, but that trust has been broken through betrayal in elections when they campaign on certain issues, and when they go into their offices, they behave and act and vote and deliver completely opposite of what they promised during the electoral process. So that's more so what I believe you're referencing to, and to what the American people has learned to feel.
So he's talking about the way in which politicians have lost the trust of the American people, as one of the individuals who is quite literally only as famous as he is because of his dishonesty. And then you'll notice throughout this whole interview and elsewhere, he's definitely trying to go with the narrative that he's a victim of the horrible treatment of the media, which is wild because all they're doing, the media, is asking him about the lies he's told or pressing him on possible criminality in regard to the financing of his elections. They're not treating him unfairly in any way. Next moment here.
The business of politics is littered at the highest levels with deceit, mistruth, corruption, of course, and this is kind of the time that you're now entering politics. So with that climate in mind, I guess, where do you want to start in your story, your upbringing maybe?
Well, Caitlin, look, I come from a humble beginning. I've always said that. I grew up in abject poverty in Jackson Heights in Queens, in New York City. People like me aren't supposed to do big things in life. And when we do, it disrupts the system. And I know that a lot of people want to create this narrative that I faked my way to Congress, which is absolutely, categorically false.
Then what did you do, sir? That's exactly what you did. We'll finish it and then I'll respond.
I've worked hard. I've built ground up a career through experience and through knowledge and through self-education. And, I think it's amazing that I have to sit here and be spoken down to on a regular basis, yet again, by the media.
Oh, you poor victim. Okay, so he's trying to make this point that maybe the reason why everyone thinks that I'm as bad as I am is because I came from humble beginnings. And the American media just cannot handle someone who built themselves up from humble beginnings. What are you talking about? There are so many amazing amazing compared to you, Democratic Congress people who started very similar to you financially and got to incredible places. That's not something that the left doesn't like. Actually, I think the left celebrates that a ton. And the media doesn't have some inherent issue with somebody who started low income and then ended up becoming successful. That's a great story. The reason why we don't like your story is because it's fake. That's why we don't like your story, George Santos. And then we will watch this next moment here. It just gets more wild and more wild as it goes along.
History has shown that the American people can pretty much forgive anything. But that starts with a sincere apology normally, a lot of remorse shown. Prevailing opinion is you have not yet shown that.
I don't know what you mean by that, because I have shown...
Well, you seem angry.
I'm not angry. Not angry at all.
Are you sorry?
I've said I was sorry many times. I've behaved as if I'm sorry. Look, if you're...
This is a classic dishonest tactic. You give kind of a half apology, but just a bunch of excuses so that later you can say, I already apologized. Jeez.
If you want to compare emotions, people show emotions differently. I am sorry. I'm deeply sorry. I've fielded calls. I've been calling supporters to apologize directly to them for that. And, I don't know what is asked of me right now. When you ask, oh, you have not shown remorse or you don't seem to look sorry, I don't know what looking sorry looks like to you, Caitlin.
I can tell you what looking sorry, what looking remorseful would look like. Resigning. If you lie your way into a position of power, tell a fake story to your constituents, or at that point to be constituents, and then they become your constituents, and you actually are remorseful about doing that, then you would show that remorse through resigning and not holding the position of power that you got so dishonestly. Take a look at this next moment.
Look, Joe Biden is a 40-year-long career pathological liar. He's the president of the United States. That does not make it okay to lie. And I've learned my lesson, and I can guarantee you that from now on, anything and everything is always going to be above board. It's largely always been above board. I'm just going to go the extra step now to double check, cross-reference everything. Look, Joe Biden is a...
As if what caused him to tell all those lies was not double checking, cross checking, triple checking the things he was about to say. In the future, I made some minor mistakes in the past. In the future, I will make a list, check it twice before I say anything, and that will prevent me from being a pathological liar. No, clearly, the only thing you're actually remorseful about, the only thing you're going to try to do better in the future is lie better, is you're remorseful that you got caught. And that's probably the only thing that is bothering you.
Where do you draw the line between right and wrong? And as a public office holder, is there any scenario in which you feel it is okay to lie?
No, I don't think lying is excusable ever, period, right? That there's no circumstance, especially if you're legislating for the American people right now. So what I might have done during the campaign
what you did do
does not reflect what is being done in the office.
Where do you draw the line?
What? This is really happening right now in American politics. Just lie completely, make up a fake story about who you are. You get into office and go, no, but see, that was the campaign. Forget about that. Now I'm actually in office. Things are different. And I'm a good guy now. So the question was, is lying ever okay? Clearly, he thinks lying is wonderful, better than telling the truth. It seems he lies about more than he tells the truth about. But I won't even go that far. Sometimes, as I've said in the past, if a family member comes to you and says, do I look good in this outfit? Occasionally, you gotta lie. Besides that, especially when campaigning, lying should not be as easy as it is for George Santos. But unfortunately, it is all too common. And then this strange moment.
What would you say, George, that you would have done differently?
I wouldn't have lied about the education. I would have just fought like hell to get that nomination and to be the...
But in that same sentence, you've also said that you don't believe you would be sitting in this chair right now as Congressman George Santos if you didn't lie.
It's catch-22, but if I can do it all over again, I would change that one aspect and I'd just fight harder.
It's a catch-22. If I have one regret, it's I shouldn't have lied about the education. That's a great tactic on his part if I was his strategist. Pick one of the things and go, I shouldn't have lied about that one thing. Because then if you're not keeping up with it a ton or just you kind of forget, you go, oh, it sounds like he lied about his education. That's not great, but not the end of the world. Okay, do you also regret lying that your parents both were down there at 9/11 but survived, and then also lying that your mom died at 9/11 even though she wasn't even in the country at the time? That you have descendants who are Holocaust survivors? That you did all these different things in business that you didn't do, and on and on and on. It's not just the education. You lied about so much more than that. And then final moment we'll take a look at.
George, I'm in the business, as you know, unlike some, not for decades. But I have also come into it at a time where the level of corruption and the degree to which politicians get away with lying, this has all been highlighted recently. So with this climate in mind, given the number of scandal-plagued politicians that get away unscathed, do you think this was in the back of your head at all?
No.
So we'll let him answer, but you can tell how much of a softball interview it is. She actually, this host, did press him on a few things throughout the interview, but the framing of the question is, because so many politicians are dishonest, is that part of why you felt like you were allowed to be dishonest?
All?
No. Honestly, no. When it came to light, I sat there and I said, damn it.
George Santos, good luck
Thank
and
you.
Godspeed.
Thank you.
What a strange interview. Even when he goes on OAN and is supposed to look good, he still can't be saved, and it looks absolutely terrible. And I can't even come up with a way that it could have gone better, because the only honest, high integrity move in this situation would be to resign. That would be the option for you. You don't have any other options to look like you actually care about the fact that you just scammed the voters of New York's 3rd District to get yourself into power. And every day that goes on, every observation we're going to have of him holding that power is just a reminder of how dishonest of a human being George Santos is. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.